The life of a family in Garfield Heights, Ohio changes suddenly and irreversibly when a beloved 27-year-old man enters a hidden danger disguised as a new person entering their lives. What happened? And has evil always been lurking in the shadows? This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast with Game Over.
December 17th, 2018. It's Monday morning in Garfield Heights, Ohio, a Cleveland suburb of 28,000.
Garfield Heights is located about 10 miles outside of Cleveland.
Most people commute back and forth to work in Cleveland. You know, it's really very more family-oriented.
After a weekend away, Garfield Heights resident Jacqueline Harrigan is anxious to get home to her son, 27-year-old Meshach Cornwall.
Jacqueline was just coming back from New York City. She had spent the weekend visiting her sister.
Meshach, I'm home.
She had been trying to get in contact with Meshach, but he wasn't answering his cell phone.
Meshach, you here, son?
She proceeded to go towards the basement because his bedroom was in the basement.
But nothing could have prepared her for what she was about to see.
Meshach!
She sees her son at the bottom of the steps in a pool of blood.
An only child, Meshach Cornwall had always been a loving son.
He and his mother had a very close relationship.
He's a 27-year-old man, but in her eyes, it's her baby.
Originally from the U.S. Virgin Islands, the two moved to Ohio looking for opportunity.
He worked at Avis Car Rental at the airport in Cleveland.
He was, a hard worker. He was a very easygoing, nice gentleman that everyone seemed to just adore being around.
He just was a mild-mannered, nice young man.
But for the most part, Meshach kept to himself.
Are y'all ready?
He had a few work friends, but for the most part, he was pretty introverted.
He spent a lot of his free time in his room on the computer.
He liked to play video games.
He met people mostly online.
Yes!
But despite his online community, Meshach was lonely.
He was looking for a relationship. He wanted to date. He wanted something that is genuine and authentic.
Because he was so comfortable meeting people online, he decided to try his luck at finding love online.
So Meshach created a profile on a popular dating app.
He liked the idea of exchanging messages via online and getting to know somebody that way versus just in person, because that can be intimidating sometimes.
But dating online proved more difficult than expected.
Meshach wasn't really happy with any of the prospects that were coming along.
You get people who are looking for, one-time situations as opposed to trying to find love.
But his luck changed when he matched with 23-year-old Shakira Graham in November of 2018.
Shakira messaged him, and he liked what he saw.
Shakira was a pastor's daughter.
She also had 2 small children, and she happened to live at home with her parents as well.
It seemed like they had a lot in common.
And like Meshach, she was looking for more than just a casual hookup.
She tells Meshach that she's looking for someone who is stable, dependable, someone she can really build a future with.
They kind of chatted online for a couple of weeks, and then on December the 13th, they decided to meet in person.
They hit it off so well that Shakira ends up spending the night.
Why don't we finish this in your room?
I thought you said you were looking for a hookup.
Well, it's not a hookup if it leads to something.
For Meshach, it was the first time he had felt a deep romantic connection like that. He was excited about where things might go.
But Meshach would never get the chance to find out.
At approximately 11:40 in the morning, our dispatch center received a 911 call stating that a male was laying at the bottom of the steps and the male was unresponsive.
911. My son's standing at the bottom of the step with blood everywhere.
To come home and see your child laying in a pool of blood, I cannot even imagine what she experienced or what she felt.
Well, I don't know if you fell on the step or what. All right, we're on our way, okay?
First responders arrive on the scene a few minutes later.
The first thing you can see is Mr. Cornwall laying at the bottom of the steps in a large pool of blood.
They confirm that Meshach Cornwall is in fact dead.
You don't see any kind of gunshots.
To police, it looked as if he had fallen down the stairs and hit his head.
Wait a second, wait. That looks like a bullet hole. We're gonna need the bureau here. We might have a homicide.
Prepare yourself for more deception and surprises at every turn. Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
After weeks of online dating, 27-year-old Meshach Cornwall has finally met a woman he could see a future with. 23-year-old Shakira Graham.
They have this connection with a lot of the same interests.
When Shakira and Meshach finally met, Shakira ended up spending the night.
But now, 3 days later, officers called to his home have just discovered that his death was no accident.
It looks like he might have been executed here. Radio, we're gonna need the bureau here. We might have a homicide. Let's not touch him no more.
When homicide detectives arrive, they immediately begin analyzing the scene.
Well, he fell down here, obviously.
Right above his body, there was a big indentation in the drywall where it appeared to me that he had fell.
Long holes here.
There also was other holes in the drywall that appeared to be from spent bullets.
Detectives wanted to understand the movements of the shooter, and they could clearly see that the shooter was probably standing at the top of the steps and was shooting downward.
Detectives also find a spent bullet in the carpet near his head.
Yeah, there's the other one too.
So there were actually technically 4 shots, but only 3 shots to the body.
Shell casings found at the scene also suggest that detectives are looking for a single shooter.
All the shell casings were .40 caliber shell casings.
But who pulled the trigger?
Meshach may have known this individual personally, or was this just a random home invasion gone wrong?
As detectives make their way through the basement, they find evidence that seems to rule out a random crime.
They find a few cups, empty beer containers, enough evidence to allude to the fact that Meshach was not home alone.
Just as important to detectives is what they don't find.
They do notice that there's a computer desk, but no computer. And a few other open spaces where other items may be missing as well.
When they head outside, detectives spot another possible clue.
There was some broken black glass in the driveway.
The glass looked like it might have been something from a computer or a TV.
Was this a robbery after all? To find out more, detectives ask Meshach's mother to accompany them on a walkthrough of the house.
Jacqueline noted that 2 cell phones were missing, as well as the gaming console and computer monitor.
But electronics aren't the only missing items she identifies.
One of the most important things missing was a Honda Accord, which is her vehicle that she let him drive.
Hoping that finding the car would lead them to Meshach's killer, the detectives issued a BOLO for the vehicle.
Then detectives bring Meshach's mother down to the station for a formal statement.
She explained to detectives that she had just gotten home from a weekend trip with her sister.
So when did you leave?
Friday morning.
The last time that Meshach's mother saw him alive was on December 14th, the morning that she left to go to New York.
And you and Meshach lived together, right? No one else in the house?
No.
Okay.
However, on the morning she left for her trip, there was someone else there.
She tells investigators that when she left, Meshach was at home with a young lady.
Did she ever sleep over the house?
Yeah, she slept over.
I didn't know Meshach had any company.
Oh, you must be Meshach's mother.
Yeah, hey, Mom, this is Shakira.
We really didn't talk much. I told him Meshach grown. I really don't get involved with his business, with his affairs, know.
She couldn't provide too much other information because she hadn't become too acquainted with her.
All Meshach's mom knew was that the young woman's name was Shakira Graham.
Is that her Facebook account?
Mm-hmm.
She identified Shakira Graham off of her pics that was the female she's seen Friday morning.
According to his mom, Shakira was still with Meshach when she left for the airport.
Friday?
Yes, she was in the house.
I love you.
I got you. Love you too.
Okay,
All
see you
right.
later.
Drive safe.
Yes, sir.
Have a safe flight.
Was Shakira the last person to see Meshach alive? To find out, detectives attempt to narrow down their timeline.
Ms. Harrigan said she had last spoke to Mr. Cornwall on the 16th, which was a Sunday, while he was on break at work.
Okay, so you spoke to him yesterday around 6:30?
Yeah,
Everything seemed normal?
Yes.
Which means Meshach was alive less than 24 hours before his mother found his body.
They asked if Shakira was with him during that call, but as far as she knew, he was alone.
Did you hear her in the background?
No, I didn't hear her.
Anybody?
No, I didn't hear nobody at all.
Once Meshach's mother finishes her statement, detectives focus their efforts on finding Shakira.
In a homicide investigation, you generally start with a small circle, people closest to them, and widen your circle as you start eliminating people.
The police are able to identify that Shakira lives with her parents. So the police go to Shakira's parents' home.
Mrs. Graham?
Yes?
Is your daughter here?
Not at the moment.
Do you have any idea where we could find her?
She told detectives that her daughter had come home around 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon and was home until Saturday afternoon.
And she hasn't seen Shakira since.
Is she in some kind of trouble?
No, we just need to talk to her.
The mother tells them that Shakira's probably at her boyfriend's house.
Meshach Cornwall?
I don't know Meshach. Her boyfriend's name is Jeffrey.
Detectives investigating the murder of Meshach Cornwall have just learned that the woman he was dating, Shakira Graham, was also dating someone else.
I don't know Meshach. Her boyfriend's name is Jeffrey.
Could Meshach's murderer be a jealous boyfriend?
Shakira's mom wasn't really familiar with anybody else that she may have been dating. The only person that she really knew about was Jeffrey.
If Shakira and Jeffrey were still together, maybe he'd found out that she was also seeing Meshach and confronted him.
Well, do you happen to have Jeffrey's number?
Yeah, actually, she called me from his number once. Let me find it.
When detectives reach out to Jeffrey, he agrees to come down to the station for an interview.
What can you tell me about Shakira Graham?
Shakira? I mean, we hang out sometimes.
Jeffrey, he doesn't consider himself a boyfriend. He and Shakira have been off and on. They met on a dating site.
However, he also claims he hasn't seen Shakira in over a week.
Honestly, it's because she can be really hard to handle.
He said they have some challenges because she's bipolar.
Bipolar disorder in itself is not dangerous, but untreated bipolar disorder can come with what we call manic episodes.
It would become more serious when she doesn't take her medication.
If she was off her meds and in a manic state, was it possible she was responsible for Meshach's murder?
Or is Jeffrey setting the stage for a convenient scapegoat?
Detectives noticed that he seemed more than happy to drag Shakira's character through the mud, so they kept pressing him.
Know of anyone named Meshach Cornwall?
I don't think so.
Shakira spent the night at his place last Thursday.
So?
They proceed to tell him that Meshach has been murdered. And it seems like Jeffrey is caught off guard by that.
I don't understand what this has.
Can you tell us where you were on Sunday night?
Wait, hold on now. Y'all think I had something to do with
We
this?
just need to know where you were so we can rule you out.
When they start to ask him about his whereabouts, he gets defensive.
Nah, I'm not talking without a lawyer.
When Jeffrey asked for a lawyer, the detectives ended the interview, and without any evidence against him, they had to let him go.
The following morning, detectives received Meshach's autopsy report. And while there's nothing in it that points to his killer, it's not a dead end either.
The autopsy results showed that he had been shot in the torso, in the shoulder, and there was a close-range shot to the head, which killed him instantly. Whoever this was that had shot him was intent on killing him.
Then detectives receive an unexpected call.
Homicide.
While detectives are reviewing the autopsy report, they get a call from Shakira's mom, who says that her daughter is home.
She readily came in for an interview.
Within the hour, a detective sits down with Shakira Graham.
My mother and my sister, when I got home, they didn't have a lot of answers, you know?
Right.
And they just, gave me a card.
Let me explain to you what's going on.
The detective wastes no time delivering the difficult news.
She was definitely very surprised at the incident and very shocked.
I'm still trying to realize he's dead.
She appears to be visibly upset about what happened.
But Shakira is cooperative.
She stated that she did sleep over the residence and was at the house Friday morning.
And who was there? Who was home?
Me and Meshach.
Just you and him?
No, his mother was there.
She stated that he drove her home at approximately 2 p.m. that same day.
Meshach dropped me off. That's the last time I've seen Meshach.
She says they spent Friday night at home and then left again on Saturday.
Her story seemed to check out with her mother.
What about Sunday night?
Sunday night, I was with my other friend.
On the night of the incident, Sunday the 16th, Shakira was hanging out at a house over on Grayton Road with an individual named Daryl Epps.
Shakira tells detectives that Daryl is another young man that she hooked up with through the dating app.
This wasn't her first rodeo.
People message me all day long.
Really?
And I kind of just see who I want to talk to.
If Shakira was seeing multiple men on this site, that could mean multiple suspects for detectives.
No, I can give you my login.
All right.
Shakira seemed genuinely concerned about helping detectives figure out who could have had something to do with Meshach's death.
But before detectives have a chance to dig into Shakira's dating life, a critical lead comes to light.
Homicide.
Detectives receive a notification that Meshach's missing vehicle had been located.
This was big.
Cleveland police found Meshach's car abandoned on the city's east side, almost 20 miles from the crime scene.
When detectives arrive, they can confirm that this is in fact Meshach's missing vehicle.
In the back seat was the computer monitor.
The glass is shattered, which is probably why the thief chose to leave it behind.
That matches the shattered glass that was found in Meshach's driveway.
The next morning, officers returned to the neighborhood where Meshach's car was found to canvass the area.
We noticed numerous video cameras, surveillance cameras in the area.
Hey, to bother you, sir, that camera work? You happen to get any of the street over here with that camera?
They're in luck. The officer is able to secure a copy of the footage for detectives to review.
That video clearly showed this unidentified black male parking the vehicle. He exits the vehicle and he walks away.
The timestamp was about 11 hours after Meshach's mom discovered his body.
The man in the video looked an awful lot like Shakira's on and off boyfriend, Jeffrey Davies.
Stay tuned for more of this enthralling story on the Fatal Attraction podcast.
Garfield Heights detectives have just recovered video of a man ditching Meshach's car in a residential neighborhood on the east side of Cleveland.
The man in the footage had a strong resemblance to Shakira Graham's casual boyfriend, Jeffrey Davies.
We observed a male at 10:30 p.m. on the 17th walking away from the vehicle northbound on Willowhurst Drive to the area of Euclid Avenue.
Could it be the breakthrough detectives need?
Now that detectives have the video footage, they bring Jeffrey back in for additional questioning.
Look, I already told y'all, I'm not talking anymore without a lawyer.
Jeffrey continues to be very defensive.
But detectives are ready to play hardball.
We got proof you ditched Meshach's car Monday night.
They tell him that there's a video, but Jeffrey won't budge. He lets them know that if there's a video, he ain't on it. He tells them he was at work across town.
You don't believe me? You can call my boss.
When they follow up with Jeffrey's employer, his story checks out.
According to his supervisor, Jeffrey was at work until 11 o'clock on the west side that night.
He couldn't have been the person on the video. The resemblance is just a mere coincidence.
Jeffrey seemingly a dead end, detectives turn to the only lead they have left, Shakira's friend, Daryl Epps.
Shakira had told detectives she was partying with Daryl the night Meshach was killed.
We were able to find Mr. Epps. He agreed to come in and talk.
As soon as he comes in, detectives can tell he's not the man in the surveillance video either.
He didn't look like the guy on the tape. He just wasn't a physical match at all.
Daryl also seems more than willing to cooperate with detectives.
Do you know Shakira Graham?
I mean, we hooked up a few times. Why?
Mr. Epps stated that he had also met Shakira Graham on Plenty of Fish, and he had dated her a couple times.
Where were you Sunday night?
I was home.
He stated that people were over there partying on the weekend of the 14th.
According to Daryl, Shakira was there, along with his roommate, 33-year-old Tyrone Williams.
Daryl, Tyrone, Shakira, they were all friends.
Daryl also says that later that evening, another woman came over, 26-year-old Rebecca Cash.
Rebecca was a female that Daryl met on Plenty of Fish as well. This group of individuals were hanging out at the house, partying, smoking, drinking.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
They were just having a good time, enjoying each other's company.
At some point, Daryl, Shakira, and Rebecca decide to go up to Daryl's bedroom, at which point those three agreed to engage in sexual interactions.
Daryl says that Shakira left the party shortly after their encounter.
He mentioned that she left a little before midnight, but she hadn't left alone.
I mean, she caught a ride.
Any idea who?
I don't know. I don't have a clue.
He was giving us information, but as a detective, you always feel there's a little bit more they know.
But with nothing more than a hunch, detectives let Daryl go and reach out to Rebecca and Tyrone.
Detectives couldn't reach Tyrone, but they were able to speak with Rebecca.
Ms. Cash stated she was at the house partying, hanging out, and Shakira Graham left.
Like Daryl, Rebecca also remembered Shakira calling somebody for a ride.
She called somebody, but nobody knew who she called.
Everyone at the party was inside, so they didn't notice who had picked her up or what car they were driving.
Eager to learn who had given Shakira a ride, detectives subpoena her phone records.
Whoever picked her up that night might know something about Meshach's murder, but phone records could take days to get access to.
While they wait, detectives check with several businesses near where Meshach's car was abandoned, hoping to access their surveillance footage.
Security cameras in the area might be able to show detectives where the man went after dumping the car.
And it doesn't take long to get a lead.
One of the stores they called was able to send some footage over to them almost immediately.
We were able to pick him up on surveillance camera, actually reaching Euclid Avenue. We were able to follow that male as he walked across the street to the north side of Euclid Avenue. He walked directly to the Cleveland Motel and entered room number 31 of the motel.
Detectives head to the motel, where a quick check with the front desk gives them the mystery man's name.
In viewing their motel registry, we were able to identify that a male named Tyrone Williams had rented the room out.
And the whole transaction was captured by a security camera.
We were able to clearly see Tyrone Williams rent the room.
Tyrone isn't the only person in the video.
He was accompanied by Shakira Graham.
Get ready for more of the Fatal Attraction podcast. You won't want to miss what happens next.
Garfield Heights homicide detectives have just uncovered evidence that potentially links both Tyrone Williams and Shakira Graham to Meshach Cornwall's murder.
Tyrone Williams and Shakira Graham were captured on video at the Cleveland Motel.
The Cleveland Motel was right around the corner from the street in which Meshach's car was ultimately found.
To learn more about their new person of interest, detectives head back to the station and pull Tyrone's criminal record.
There's minor stuff, but that wouldn't indicate that he's capable of murder.
They also attempt to track down Meshach's stolen electronics.
Law enforcement agencies have access to a large database that tracks property for resale by serial number.
That police database will show when any person turns in property, pawn shops, things of that nature.
They don't receive any information on Meshach's gaming console, but they do get a hit on his missing cell phones.
Tyrone took those cell phones to a Walmart and turned them in to receive $10, $15.
Police responded there, secured those phones as evidence, and also obtained store video showing Mr. Williams making those transactions.
He's caught on camera turning those cell phones in at the Walmart.
Those cell phones were sent to the Cuyahoga County Cyber Crime Lab. Came back that one of those cell phones was indeed the property of our victim.
Suspecting that Tyrone may be their shooter, detectives head to the house he shares with Shakira's friend, Daryl.
Tyrone wasn't home, but Daryl was.
They confront him with what they now know about Shakira and Tyrone, but still he denies having any more information.
Look, I already told you everything you need to know.
According to Mr. Epps, he had no idea of anything of the incident of the homicide.
The only thing I did with Shakira is invite Rebecca over for some fun.
They were hanging out at the house, partying, smoking, drinking, just enjoying everybody's company.
Eventually, Daryl, Shakira, and Rebecca headed to the bedroom.
While that is occurring, they decide that they want to take ecstasy.
But the evening didn't go as planned.
Unfortunately, the ecstasy has an adverse effect on Daryl, and he's unable to perform.
Wait, what's going on?
Just give me a minute.
According to Daryl, it made Shakira really mad.
It's just like set her off.
In a manic episode, you chase the high of mania. You chase the high of being carefree and reckless and out of control. There are drinking binges and drug binges and behaviors that are dangerous and excessive and high risk.
To utilize any form of drugs and you already have a mental health issue would intensify the highs and lows.
At that point, she wants to leave.
No, this is lame. No.
Again, Daryl said that Shakira called somebody for a ride and left the party around midnight.
This time, however, Daryl also admits that Shakira came back.
Hey, you don't like having fun without me, are you?
He said that she seemed to be in a better mood and was ready to keep partying.
She say where she'd been?
I mean, no.
But she hadn't returned empty-handed.
When Shakira comes back, she has a bottle of liquor, a jar of weed, and an Xbox. All the items that Meshach was missing.
She even had the audacity to try to sell a gaming console to Daryl.
This immediately raised red flags for detectives.
And did someone drop her off?
No, she drove.
Daryl gave them a description of the vehicle she returned in, and there was little doubt that it was Meshach's missing Honda.
Then, according to Daryl, after hanging out for a couple more hours, Tyrone and Shakira left together.
But he didn't leave with Shakira the first time.
Right.
If Daryl was telling the truth, Tyrone couldn't have been the shooter.
At this point in the investigation, Shakira Graham went to the very top of the list.
But before they bring Shakira in, detectives want to hear more from the other woman who was with them that night, Rebecca Cash.
When they brought her in for questioning, her version of events matched Daryl's.
Rebecca Cash remembers Shakira coming back several hours later, between 1 and 2 in the morning on the 17th. She stated that Shakira Graham returned with a vehicle and property.
Do you know where she got the stuff from?
No idea.
She seemed to have no knowledge as to anything of the homicide, anything of a robbery.
However, she does provide one telling detail to detectives.
Rebecca made some sort of bond with Shakira, and she wanted her to stay. And Shakira said no.
Can I come with you?
Shakira said, "You do not want to go with me to do what I'm about to do."
Stay tuned for more of this enthralling story on the Fatal Attraction podcast.
Based on statements from Shakira Graham's friends about the night of Meshach Cornwall's murder, detectives now believe she is the one who pulled the trigger.
Rebecca Cash, who was there partying, wanted to ride with Shakira, but Shakira said to her, "You don't want to be with me with what I'm getting ready to do." Clearly, this young lady had already decided that she was getting ready to commit a crime.
Shakira Graham left and returned with a vehicle and property of our victim.
I got some stuff for you guys.
However, it's less clear whether Shakira set out to kill Meshach or merely rob him.
When the detectives were finally able to get the records for Shakira's cell phone, the data connected all the dots.
In those records, it showed that Shakira Graham had contacted Mr. Cornwall on his cell phone on December 16th at approximately 11 p.m.
We know, based on the phone mapping, that Meshach picks Shakira up.
That cell information showed tracking that they left from there and went back to his house.
They were able to map their phones on the exact same coordinates, using the exact same towers at the exact same time.
The cell tower data also shows Shakira's path from Meshach's house back to Daryl's.
She was the last person that was with him before this murder took place.
Between the cell data, surveillance video, and witness statements, detectives have more than enough for an arrest warrant.
We had reached out to family. Hey, have your daughter turn herself in?
Right.
She did not willingly come in.
So they call in reinforcements.
We petitioned the Cleveland Marshals Service to locate Miss Graham.
Detectives also issue a warrant for Tyrone Williams.
The Cleveland Marshals picked him up on February 8th of 2019.
Once in custody, he's brought back to the station where he denies having anything to do with Meshach's murder.
I don't know nothing about this, man. I just found this out, man.
Tyrone said that they were all just hanging out, having a good time when Shakira showed back up.
She came back, and she came back because she was geeked, you know what I'm saying? She was drunk as
Shakira at some point decides she's had enough, she wants to go. Tyrone offers to go with her, to which she says yes.
Tyrone Williams admitted to driving the stolen vehicle. He also admitted to taking those cell phones from the vehicle and turning them in for money.
However, he claims he had no idea where the cell phones came from.
Tyrone is just thinking that, you know, she may have just ripped somebody off or robbed somebody.
We don't know about no dead body.
Mr. Williams denied any knowledge of a homicide.
I wasn't there when she murdered that dude. I wasn't to do with her murdering that dude.
He was not involved in what we believe in the homicide.
He may not have had anything to do with the murder itself, but he was still issued a felony charge for receiving stolen property.
Then, almost a week later, authorities finally tracked down the person they do believe to be Meshach's killer.
Shakira Graham was arrested at her mother's house in the city of Shaker Heights. There was no struggle. She was brought back to Garfield Heights, where she refused to speak with detectives without an attorney.
Even without the interview, detectives charged Shakira with aggravated murder.
Aggravated murder is when there are serious circumstances, violent circumstances that lead to the death of another. So in this case, she had already shot him twice. That wasn't enough. She decided to take the close-up brain shot, which is why she was charged with aggravated murder and not just murder.
When Shakira stands trial on February 19th, 2020, both her family and Meshach's crowd the courtroom.
Both sides, the families, were both good families. It was a very traumatic and upsetting circumstance for everybody involved.
The prosecution opens by laying out all the evidence against Shakira.
It wasn't just witnesses, it wasn't just phone records, it wasn't just surveillance or phone maps, it was everything. Everything led us to one person.
Mr. Cornwall meets Shakira Graham on the dating website Plenty of Fish back in November of 2018. They start seeing each other. On December 16th, he receives a call from Shakira Graham.
Hey, you.
Whether she just asked for a ride or if it was a straight-up booty call wasn't entirely certain.
Whatever Shakira said to Meshach,
oh yeah, I'm on my way.
He rushed right over.
Meshach probably was very much thinking that this girl is about to change my life. And then in the other seat in that car is someone who has much darker intentions.
Thanks for picking me up.
Yeah, of course. I'm actually glad you called. You know, my mom, she's in New York, so we kind of have the whole house to ourselves.
But then, Meshach's night took a horrifying turn.
Shakira, what are you...
While Meshach lay bleeding at the bottom of the stairs, Shakira descended the stairs and deliberately finished him off.
To this day, we don't know why she did what she did, when she formulated that thought, but we know that she was the only person, based on the evidence, who could have done it. After Shakira shot and killed Meshach, she went through his room and robbed Meshach of numerous items, and she took those items back to the house where she continued to party.
The lack of remorse, empathy, the disconnection, in my clinical opinion, is definitely mental health related. I know we often say, oh, well, you can't blame everything on a mental illness, but for someone to be that detached, something ain't right.
But as far as the jury is concerned, that doesn't excuse what Shakira had done.
Shakira Graham was convicted of aggravated murder. And in Ohio, the aggravated murder carries a mandatory life sentence, and she will be eligible for parole after 28 years.
Justice may have been served, but there's little celebration in the courtroom.
People think, oh, if they catch the killer, they send the person to prison, this is going to give me the closure that I need. It's not.
Both families were extremely saddened. I mean, in a case like this, there is just no good outcome. No matter what happens, there is no winner.
And it all started because Meshach was looking for someone special.
We're only watching what they allow us to see.
Be careful who you meet, especially online. No one's really showing their true selves while they're online. And unfortunately, Meshach got wrapped up with something he didn't expect.
Meshach was vulnerable enough to want to connect with someone. He wanted somebody. He wanted to date. He wanted to connect. He wanted to meet someone. And that is what ultimately cost him his life, at no fault of his own.
The loss of Meshach Cornwall was a heart-wrenching tragedy that left a profound void in the lives of those who knew him. He was a devoted son, cherished and adored. Meshach Cornwall's memory will forever resonate in the hearts of those who were fortunate enough to have him in their lives. Coming up on the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
She was new to the big city.
She came here to Atlanta to pursue her dreams in the beauty industry.
And he promised to show her the way.
They instantly hit it off.
She really felt a sense of protection that he would take care of her.
But her ambitious dreams would never become a reality.
What they see is they see a female body with no clothes on.
Oh my God. Someone choked her, strangled her.
This was a brutal attack. It was personal.
A shocking revelation has left detectives reeling with disbelief. Now they are fiercely committed to uncovering the truth behind the tragedy and identifying those responsible. Who could possibly want to harm a bright and ambitious young go-getter on the cusp of greatness? Tune in to the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast. We will see you in the next episode.